Good morning. This video segment is going to be about how to handle money in the interview situation. I have many candidates ask me, okay, what do I do if they ask me how much money I make? Or what do I say if they say, well, will you take $50,000? Or what if they say, what's your range? Or any question that has to do with your financial compensation. How do you handle that in the interview? And my answer is, you don't. In terms of the first person who says a number in negotiations and sales is considered the loser. But that's not always the case, but there is some correlation to the first person who's saying the number, that number that they arrive at in the end being very close to that. Okay, so if you say one number and you really later think that maybe the number should be larger, then it will be very difficult to make that move. So my answer is, if they say, how much money do you make, you be very honest. Obviously, in the interview process, honesty is very, very important. You can be honest about what money you make, and then you could say, but I'm not sure that I really think that that's relevant given that the position that I'm interviewing for requires a lot more travel or has a lot more responsibility or will be utilizing X, Y, and Z, something that's different and more than what you currently do. So you deflect in that way. The other thing that you can do is you can say, well, if we're talking money, are you making me a job offer? And that's always a nice icebreaker. And in fact, some clients will actually say, well, yes, I am very interested, so I do want to try to work that out. And that changes the conversation somewhat. But I would always go back to, look, I am certain that given the responsibilities that this position has and how important you've described that it is to your organization, that you're going to financially compensate the right candidate with an appropriate amount of money. Who can say no to that? I mean, that's a great answer. The other thing that you could say is, look, you know, unless you're making me a job offer, we're still trying to figure it out whether or not we've got a good marriage here. We're still dating. So let's learn a little bit more about you and let's learn a little bit more about me so that we can make sure there's a good fit. And then I can imagine that if there's a good fit, we'll be able to work out the money piece. There are some candidates who want to work directly with a client company to negotiate offers or to talk about money, and there's other candidates that want the recruiter to be involved. And in the same way, there are clients who want to talk directly with a candidate about money, and there are clients that want a recruiter to deal with that. And the reasons you might think for this are different than what they might actually be. I actually have one client who feels like money conversations, negotiations can be very negative to the relationship, and so he would prefer that I actually do all of the negotiations on the money side so that neither the candidate or the client sees anything that's less than positive in that interaction, so that the relationship cannot be damaged. So the answer is, how do you deal with money in the interview situation? You never bring it up, and if it does come up, treat it lightly in terms of either saying, hey, does this mean you're making me an offer, or deflect and ask them what they think the position should be paying, or take their lead on what they say when you deflect. But don't bring up money. Don't talk about money if you can keep from it. And the other thing is don't make decisions about money. A lot of jobs are much different than you think they are. They're usually not a black and white, here's the salary and that's it. There's some other factors that need to be considered. And as a recruiter, I would challenge you to consider all of those because they can actually impact the total financial package dramatically. I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, please give me a call. Check out my website at www.phcconsulting. We specialize in sales, sales management, and technical support for the laboratory industry.